pro-life. If you think that abortion should be banned, make sure to hop into those guest requests. I absolutely cook on this topic. I'm not going to lie. It's not my favorite topic in the world, but I absolutely fucking cook on it, so we're going to have some fun. If y'all are excited for some debates here today on abortion, let me know in the chat by dropping a smiley face and a sad face if you're not. But let's get to double tapping because we need to send out in the algorithm. So for the first 500 beautiful people in here, make sure to respond to the quick poll. Helps boost the comments. Make sure to double tap on that phone screen. Helps boost the live. And most importantly, make sure to share out this live with a couple friends. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up our first guest that we don't currently have. So be patient. We just got to wait on our first individual to hop in those guest requests. And if you are one of the 650 people watching and you are pro-life, make sure to hop into those guest requests, y'all. We're going to go ahead and pull him up, chat. What's going on? How old are you?
What's up, brother? I'm 18.
18, perfection. Do you think that abortion should be banned, or are you pro-life?
I believe abortion should be banned after...
Selena, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Let's get a W, Selena, in that chat. Thank you so much for the love. I need everyone to show your love to Selena right now in that chat. Now go ahead.
I hope she requests that back. I hope she refunds that.
I bet you're pissed, but what's your point?
I believe abortion should be banned after 15 to 20 weeks.
15 to 20 weeks? Okay, yeah, why so?
I believe that we should have a little bit of grace period, so it can't be like right on the dot, right as they form consciousness, you know? So I would say I'm not super pro-life, but I'm definitely...
Yeah, you're essentially pro-choice. I appreciate you for coming up, man. If you're in the guest requests, make sure that you do, consider yourself to be pro-life. We are just looking for some debates here today. What's up? How old are you?
35.
35. Sweet. Do you think that abortion should be banned?
I think that it should be banned after a certain time. Yeah.
Yeah, like what point?
I think elective abortion should be banned entirely. We'll start there.
So why do you think that elective abortion should be banned, sir?
I think that there's enough scientific studies out there to point to the concept of unique life existing at fertilization. And so I would say I think that, science can certainly change over time. So I'm willing to concede that these perspectives that we have about legalities and definitions can change over time. But I will say I think I'm more concerned about second time elective abortion, third time, etc. I just don't think that as a society we have to have that as a solution. I think there's other solutions.
Okay, so a couple things here. So first of all, you're saying that abortion should be banned because the fetuses are unique individual human lives. So I don't think that being a unique individual human life is sufficient, is a sufficient qualifier for moral value. Like for instance, brain dead patients are unique individual human lives,
Sure.
but they obviously don't have moral value, right? Like, would you say it's murder to pull the plug on them?
I think that there's a moral and legal element to that, right? So
we're talking about the moral aspect here. So
okay, I appreciate you putting the guide rails on that. So I honestly don't know as far as a grown adult, right? Because they could have a will there, and
so in the absence of a will, we're speaking in the absence of a will here, as if I don't have a written will. If I were to get into a car accident tomorrow and become a brain dead vegetable, would it be murder or morally wrong for my mother to pull the plug on me? That's what I'm asking here.
I think personally it would be morally wrong for me. However, I'm willing to concede that if a certain group of people, like as we have like states, if a state wanted to say, hey, as a state, we're going to allow this to morally be okay, I would concede that I would be willing to live in that society.
So you mean legally?
Well, I guess legal. I guess we only do things legally, kind of based on moral. So it's hard to separate the two in some cases.
Okay, let's just clear this up. This is a big mess. Do you think that families pulling the plug on their brain dead family members should be legal?
I think at a certain point, yeah.
All right, awesome. Right. So here's the thing. Right? So you think it should be legal to terminate the life of a brain dead patient, even though they're a unique human life. So why wouldn't we say the same thing about a fetus? It should be legal for mothers to terminate the lives of the fetuses growing inside their womb,
I think it's a
even though
false
they're a unique
equivalency.
human life.
I think it's
What's
a false
the distinction?
equivalency. So the probability so again, we have to kind of get into some nuance and get a little bit more granular with it. I think that if you're consulting with a doctor and the doctor says, hey, there's no way that this brain dead patient is going to be able to come back from this, Okay, that's a consideration the family would take into account. Just like if there's an issue, a medical issue with the fetus or the fertilized egg, even okay, then I think that's a conversation with the doctor about what is the probability of success. Would you agree that those conversations? Would you agree that those conversations happen and are relevant?
I would agree that those conversations happen. However, I would disagree on the fact that they're relevant because I don't think that prospective sentience and the fact of like what could be in the future matters at all. But like we could look at a couple hypotheticals to explore that. But before we do that, I wanted to present you with an issue, right? Would you say it is like murder to unjustly like end a unique human life?
I think that's a really tough question. I don't know if there's an absolution to that, man.
Okay, listen, let me just put it this way. So do you think that like it's wrong for women to have an IUD, which is a form of birth control, because in some cases an IUD can prevent the implantation of a conceived zygote into the uterine lining, which would effectively kill it? And keep in mind this is after the moment of conception, so it is a unique human life.
Yeah, I definitely think that as a society, it would be a moral decision to explore what that ban would look like. And I think that to your point, there could be tech.
Callie, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Can you answer my question? Could you just tell me if you think that the woman would be doing something wrong?
I think we have alternatives to that. So I think morally it's okay to say yes, it would be morally wrong for an IUD to be used in those instances.
Do you think that IUDs should be made illegal?
If we can isolate that answer to those that destroyed after fertilization, then yeah.
Okay.
We have alternatives, right, Dean?
Wait,
I'm
just curious here. So what's your qualifier for moral value? Is it the fact that it's a unique human life, or is it the fact that this fetus has like prospective sentience? Because you said it shouldn't be illegal to pull the plug on a brain dead patient, but they are a unique human life. So it doesn't seem like you're valuing the unique human lives here. It seems like you're valuing the potential sentience. So which one is it?
Yeah, the probability for sentience, again, that goes back to the conversation with the medical professional.
So
right.
That's what you're valuing?
I'm saying that we can't just sideline the conversation with the doctor, whether it's a brain dead patient or it's a fertilized egg.
No, that's exactly what you're doing when you advocate for abortion bans. When you advocate for legislation, one second, when you advocate for legislation that would ban like elective abortions, you are completely 110% sidelining any conversation for medical health practitioners because all you're doing is pandering to most likely corrupt politicians that would ban abortion on the basis of the fact that the people want it. Right? Which completely sidelines conversations with the medical health professionals. But you're still not answering my question, and I want an answer to it. Are you valuing unique human life, or are you valuing the potential sentience?
I think that those two things can go together, Dean.
So you're valuing a conjunct of them. So it has to be unique human life, and it has to have potential sentience? I'm
not saying it has to be either one of those, Dean. What I'm saying is
then why is the life of the fetus valuable?
Let me respond to what you said about the abortion ban. Okay. If there's an alternative to IUDs that don't harm or destroy the fertilized egg, okay, after fertilization, what I am saying is that I think that those things should be explored and adopted in mass more than the other ones. And so all I'm saying is, if you're saying there's a distinction between the two, I'm willing to talk about the one that doesn't destroy after fertilization.
Hey, there's no alternative to abortion, sir.
Yeah, I didn't say there was.
So in the absence of an alternative, why is it wrong?
On the absence of an alternative. So can you frame that?
All I'm doing here is I'm asking you why you think abortion's wrong. First, you told me it's because it was a unique human life, but then we showed a contradiction in valuing unique human... Sir, let me finish. And we showed a contradiction in valuing unique human life in the sense that a brain-dead patient is unique human life. And then you told me that you'd value a fetus because it has, like, future sentience. So, like, my question to you is, well, let's just say that we had a cat, and we injected it with a serum that we know will make the cat sentient in 9 months' time. Would it be wrong for us to then inject that same cat with an antidote to the serum, erasing its future sentience?
That's a great question. Honestly, I don't know the answer to that, Dean. That's a cat, and that's a hypothetical. Right now, if there's a brain dead patient and the consulting doctor says there's no,
can you tell me what your intuition say?
I'm going to do 2 sentences. Let me finish if that's okay.
It's a pivot.
Is it? No, it's not. I'm speaking to exactly what we're talking about. If there's a brain dead patient and there's a consultation with a doctor and there's no probability of that changing, okay, I think that is different than if there's a probability a future sentient life with a healthy fertilized egg, I think that the doctor consultation matters. Do you
But what I'm
disagree
saying
with
here,
that?
what I'm disagreeing with is the idea that future sentience matters at all. I'm saying that it's not morally valuable, and I gave you a hypothetical to demonstrate why that's the case, and you're refusing to engage with it. So I'll go ahead and ask you again, and I do expect you to engage with my hypothetical. Let's say we have a cat and we inject it with a serum that will make it sentient in 9 months' time. Would it be immoral to then turn around and inject that same cat with an antidote that will erase its sentience in 9 months' time?
Honestly, Dean, I don't know. I'm leaning towards it probably would be wrong to change that sentience, but I'm also willing to acknowledge your example is talking about human manipulation of an animal, and that's
Okay,
very
so
unique.
sir,
It's a
so
it's not it's a false.
are you
equivalency,
able?
Dean.
Are you able? That's not a false equivalency, because what we're doing is we're isolating for the fact that you find future subjective experiences to be valuable, right? And then we're putting that in a hypothetical circumstance where it's so obviously the case that future subjective experiences are not valuable, and you're refusing to engage. And we could look at this in so many ways, right? Like in the same way, would it be wrong to inject that cat with an antidote to the serum? Let's just imagine that we had rocks on a conveyor belt, and when the rocks flew off the conveyor belt, when they hit the end of it, they spontaneously become sentient. Would it be immoral to take a rock off of that conveyor belt before it becomes sentient?
Would it be wrong to take a rock off of a conveyor belt? I don't think that. So if we have 100% certainty that the rock is guaranteed to have sentience, then I don't see anything. I don't see why we would take it off the conveyor belt. What's the reason for doing that?
Bro, I'm asking you if it would be immoral to take it off the conveyor belt. Please.
I think it
please
depends on. I
respond.
think it depends. I think the morality depends on the reason for taking it off the conveyor belt. Why are we taking it off the conveyor belt, Dean?
Literally any reason at all. It's a fucking rock.
Well, pick one.
No, the reason's irrelevant to my question.
Okay, well, that's where we disagree, Dean. Is I think that it is relevant the decision that we take the life away. I think
It's
that's
not
relevant.
a life. It's a rock.
Well, the NHI so is life defined as fertilization or no?
A life begins at fertilization in the context of a fetus. I'm not asking you about a fetus. I'm asking you about a fucking rock. If we
Right.
had rocks on a conveyor belt, and when they flew off the conveyor belt, they spontaneously became sentient, would it be wrong to remove the rock prior to the point in which it flew off the conveyor belt?
It depends on the reason why, man.
Okay, so name a reason that would make it wrong to remove a rock from a conveyor belt.
I think that it would be wrong to end a fertilized egg or to remove the.
Bro, we're not talking about a fertilized egg. We're talking about a fucking rock. Engage with a hypothetical or get fucking booted. Answer my question about the hypothetical, or you're getting kicked because you're acting like a child. If we have rocks on a conveyor belt that spontaneously become sentient when they hit the end of the conveyor belt, would it be immoral to take a rock off prior to the point in which they come off?
I think in some cases, yeah.
Name one of those cases.
If somebody said, "Hey, you know what? I want this rock for myself," and they want to put it in their pocket and take it home, I think that would be a selfish decision.
Okay. Okay. What the fuck are you saying? It's a selfish decision for someone to pick up a rock off the ground and take it home?
No. You were saying that if there's rocks on the conveyor belt and as they fly out the conveyor belt, they're automatically given human sentience. If I'm understanding the framing right.
Okay. You know what? I'm just kicking you. You are not going to sit here and say that it's morally wrong to take a rock. Okay. You're being so disingenuous. That is so incredibly bad faith. Like I cannot deal with these fucking idiots. What's up? How old are you?
20.
Okay, can you speak the fuck up with all due respect?
Why are you speaking to me like that?
There you go. I'm sorry. I'm a bit rude. I'll be nice to you though. So hey, do you think that abortion should be banned?
No.
Oh, WNE. All right, guys. We are just looking for individuals that do think it is wrong to get an abortion here. We're going to move on to our next guest at this point, y'all. We're going to move on to our next guest at this point here, guys. Keep in mind that we are just looking to talk to individuals that do think it is wrong to get an abortion. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. What's up?
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Awesome. Do you think that abortion should be banned, or are you pro-life?
I think it should be banned, but first I need to say babies aren't real. They made them up. They just spawn in hospitals. They're fake.
Okay. What's the shape of the Earth? Okay, he automatically left here. So we have no guest requests at this point, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and try one more guest. We may have to hit a little bit of a restart here just because the live isn't sending out. DNA ain't playing tonight. That first guest pissed me the fuck off. What's up, Luca? How old are you? All right, Luca isn't here. Moving on. Also, y'all, if you guys do want to support me on my Venmo, my PayPal, or my bio, I am hitting a little bit of a road trip here. So if you want to support me, if you want to buy me a tank of gas for the way back, y'all already covered the tank of gas on the way over. Feel free to support me. Venmo and PayPal in the bio. What's up? How old are you?
18.
18. Perfect. Do you think that abortion should be banned? Or are you pro-life?
I don't know, to be honest.
I'm so sorry, man. I can't understand what you're saying.
I do not know, to be honest.
All right, moving on to our next guest, guys. Make sure you know. Also, y'all, literally 3 guest requests at the moment, everyone. And Nina, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. You just bought me 1 gallon of gas. Thank you so much for the love, Nina. W Nina in that chat, y'all. I'm going to think of you when I'm pumping that gas, Nina. What's up, Raven? How old are you?
21.
Awesome. Do you think that abortion should be banned? Or are you pro-life?
Honestly, I think it's like more complicated than just being pro-life and pro-choice. Because
Well,
like there
you
are
either
certain
think that elective
circumstances where it's
abortion
like
should be banned or shouldn't.
there are certain circumstances where I'm like, yeah, it shouldn't be banned. But like if you're using abortion as like a birth control, then like that's wrong, in my opinion. But like,
Okay, can you explain to me what you mean by that?
So like if you're like the type of person that doesn't use birth control, and basically like if you do get pregnant, like you're just using abortion as a birth control to prevent pregnancy, which it's not really preventing pregnancy.
I'm so sorry.
'cause-
So yeah, first of all, when pro-lifers use this rhetoric, such as the idea that women are using abortion as birth control, first of all, that's just bullshit, right? So
Yeah.
birth control it primarily concerns the prevention of conception, right, not the termination of a pregnancy. But then additionally here, right, even if it were to be the case that a woman were to use an abortion to prevent the birth of a child, which is why women use it, why is that wrong?
You got a point there. But I'm just saying, like, if they're
I
like,
have a point. I just simply asked you why it's wrong.
I feel like it's more of like, if they've had like repeated abortions, aren't on birth control, and then they're just.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? Like, we might be able to say that, like, the woman who's getting, like, continued abortion after abortion after abortion, mute the fetus, please, should probably seek some education. I'm gonna have to put you on mute. Should probably seek some education on, like, how to engage in sex a little bit safer, right? But we're not going to say that the action of abortion in that context is wrong. Like, for instance, if there was to be a chain smoker that smoked for their entire life and had to get chemotherapy to terminate lung cancer 7 times, we'd say that individual would be doing something wrong by smoking, but the chemotherapy in of itself isn't morally wrong. So in a similar sense, if there's someone being kind of reckless, engaging in sex, and getting multiple abortions, maybe we'd say that there's something wrong in the context of their character, and maybe they're a little bit irresponsible, but the abortion in of itself isn't wrong.
Yeah, because like my thing is, I think like, if anything, we should have better education in schools about like sex ed, so that people understand how pregnancy happens, and so like they're not.
Right, but we understand that, like,
Unprepared.
none of this would be advocating for an abortion ban.
Yeah, no.
All right, so if you don't think abortion should be banned, I'm going to move on to the next guest. I do appreciate you for joining me. Let's go and get our next guest, Sam Winnie, up here, chat. Make sure that we're double tapping on that screen, folks. Let's try to get up to 100,000 likes here. Hey, you were whining and moaning and...
Yeah, why'd you avoid me for so long?
Sam, who the fuck are you?
I mean, apparently your worst nightmare. You have.
How special do you think you are?
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you why you avoided me for so long.
I don't avoid you.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
just... I don't know who you are.
Well, you
do you
booted-
understand that...
You booted the last guy that had an actual debate with you, and you got all pissed off. So if that's what you're going to do here, then just start it right now.
Sam, he said rocks are morally valuable.
I mean, you said they were sentient, and your whole freaking purpose
No.
of
No, I didn't say they were sentient.
What'd
I
you
said
say?
that they would be sentient.
Yeah, exactly. You said that they would be sentient. That's your
Okay.
whole premise.
So if a rock would be sentient in 1 billion years, would that rock be morally valuable?
Morally, like, where are you getting your morals from? Like, let's start with there.
It's an internal critique. I'm asking you about you and your morals. If a rock would be sentient in 1 billion years, would it be morally valuable?
No.
Awesome. He said it would, and that's why I kicked him. It's absurd, right? Anyways, why do you think abortion should be banned, Sam?
It's murder.
Okay, go ahead and define murder for me, Pooks.
The killing of an innocent life.
Awesome. So here's the thing. The killing of an innocent life. I'm guessing you're describing the fetus as innocent. So the action of an elective
Yeah,
abortion
it's
is
actually probably the most innocent thing in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, so the action of an elective abortion is just the termination of the life of the fetus in lethal circumstances. And then you're just saying that the termination of the life of a fetus is wrong because it's the termination of the life of the fetus. That's a circular self-defeating argument.
No, I mean, that's a portion of abortions, right? Like, are you going to acknowledge that there's abortions for inconvenience?
Of course, I definitely would acknowledge that. And I've yet to hear a reason why they're wrong.
Okay, so why do you think it's okay morally for an abortion to happen due to the inconvenience of a life that is going to be, or it already is, but it's inside a womb? Why is that okay morally?
So step one, I think the reason for the abortion is completely irrelevant. They could have any reason or no reason at all and it would be justified. Step two is the simple fact that I don't find the life of the fetus to be morally valuable in the slightest. I only value life in which has a conjunct between past and future subjective experiences, and that fetus would not meet those qualifiers, right?
But bro,
and then on top of that,
bro.
I'm just... One second.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then on top of that, I don't think there's absolutely any good argument to substantiate a ban on elective abortions. I've yet to hear one, and I would love to hear yours. I just got super lightheaded. I need to eat.
Yeah, have some apple juice. So why to you does a fetus have no life experience just because it's inside the womb? And I can almost guarantee you that you've never actually watched a video of an abortion. Is that accurate?
Hey, I need to go grab some water real quick. I
Yep.
just got so lightheaded out of like fucking nowhere. But I'd particularly say that a fetus can't have life experience before 24 weeks because it can't develop consciousness until 24 weeks. Right?
Okay, well, are you going to go get water?
Experience is predicated on consciousness.
Okay, sure. So are you saying that only...
I need to go get water, bro. I don't know
Okay.
what the fuck's going on. I'm going to be right back, y'all. Give me 5 seconds. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, go. Where did we leave off there, Sam?
Okay, you back in action?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, so you believe that a life does have experience after 24 months?
Weeks.
I'm sorry. Yep, weeks.
Has the capacity for experience, yeah.
Okay, capacity for experience. And so at that point, you believe abortions are wrong?
I believe the lethal abortions outside of the context of SA are morally wrong, yeah.
Sorry, let me catch up with that. Lethal abortions outside of the context of SA are morally wrong. Okay, so you believe at 23 weeks it's not, because why?
Yeah, because they haven't developed thymocortical connections yet.
Okay, so if you had do you plan to have a family one day or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had a son and your son was born prematurely and had no consciousness, but the doctors looked at you in the eye, and this is a son that you got to pretend you've wanted this son for like 3 years, hypothetically. You tried, your wife couldn't get pregnant. You tried again, couldn't get pregnant. You get pregnant, the baby's born prematurely, and the doctor looks at you and for whatever reason says, hypothetically, your son will have consciousness in 1 week from today, but it's got to survive until then. You believe some doctor, some random person could come in and execute, and that would not be morally wrong?
Well, I think it would be morally wrong without the consent of me and my wife, right? Like, for instance, like I'd assign like property rights of the fetus to the mother, right? In this hypothetical, the fetus is outside of the womb, so it would be assigned to both the mother and the father,
Sure.
right? But like, no, that wouldn't be morally wrong if it were to be like consented to. But like further yet, like you're not really engaging with a point here.
No, I am.
Yeah, like no, the answer is that wouldn't be morally wrong if it was consented to by me and my wife, but I don't think that's super practical. I don't think that would happen.
Well, no, it's a hypothetical. I mean, a rock on a conveyor belt wouldn't be practical either. So
Yeah, that's why I answered it, because I understand the point of hypotheticals. But my answer is that wouldn't be morally wrong if it was consented to by the mother and the father. So,
Okay, so you believe
I
that-
want to ask you why you think abortion's wrong. You told me
Okay.
it's murder, and I'd like to ask you a couple questions about that.
Okay,
do you
hang
think that-
on. Can I state on my line of thinking and then we do that?
Yeah, sure, go for it, man.
Okay, thank you. So you believe that then consent is the differentiator between morally right and morally wrong if it has to do with a fetus or a baby?
No, it has to do in the context of a fetus prior to 24 weeks, because the only value that we'd assign to it is like property rights of the mother and the father.
Okay,
In
so
the
you believe
context that it's
it's
outside of the womb.
Okay, so you believe that it's okay for a human to have property rights of another human?
Yes, I absolutely do in these fringe circumstances where the human life wouldn't meet the criteria for moral value, such as a fetus or a brain dead patient. Like, for instance, do you think that it's murder for families to pull the plug on their brain dead family members?
Yeah, so I think that's totally fine because you're using a utensil, let's just call it a utensil for the sake of the argument, a
Oh,
plug.
so you think it's okay for humans to have property rights over other humans? Come on.
What?
Yeah, what you're describing right now is property rights.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is you're pulling the plug is the plug is what's preventing that human from dying anyway. It's way different than a utensil going in and ending the life of a human. Like,
Okay, so I have a question. The abortion
Sure.
pill that can be used for elective abortions before about 20 weeks, all that does is it cuts off the supply of progesterone to the fetus, which terminates its life by stopping the supply of the mother's bodily sustenance, which is quite analogous to, quote unquote, pulling the plug on a brain dead patient. So do you think that elective abortions prior to about 20 weeks with the use of the abortion pill are immoral?
yeah, I think it's immoral. And once
For
again,
what reason?
Because once again, you're injecting something into a natural process instead of the plug is keeping alive what would have already ended, right? So if you just let things be and don't interject anything, that baby would be born.
Well, no,
If
the
you just-
interjection of the mother is constantly required to sustain the fetus's life. Yeah, like this is
What do
the
you mean?
big misstep is that you don't think that action of the mother is required to sustain the life of the fetus before 24 weeks, and that is absolutely and unequivocally wrong.
What,
In
just
fact,
eating?
this is why women get abortions, right? Is because they no longer want to sustain the life of the fetus inside of their womb.
What do you mean by sustaining the life? The woman has to eat? What else?
If the mother was absent and the fetus was outside of the womb of the mother, would the life of the fetus end?
Yes.
Yes, it would, because the mother's bodily resources are required to sustain its life, just like the brain dead patient in their life, right? The life support is required to sustain theirs. But on the broader scale here, I don't understand why you would assign moral value to the fetus in the first place. Why is the life of the fetus morally valuable?
Well, Dean, you and I can't have a morally valuable argument based
Sure we
on
can.
different moral standards, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
so-
what we're doing right now. Why
No, I
is
mean,
the
if
life
we're
of the
not
fetus morally
operating from
valuable?
the same moral ground, then it's a worthless debate. Like I get my
No,
morals
not at
from-
all. That is the only way we can have a debate. Is
I
because
disagree.
we are operating off of different moral grounds. Now, answer my question. I don't want you to pivot. I don't want you to run away.
Sure.
It's absolutely hilarious that you said I was running away earlier when that is all
Well,
that
you
you're
did.
doing right now. Why is the life of the fetus morally valuable?
Listen, me asking you a line of question is not running away. I'm engaging in a debate. Why is it morally valuable? Is because I believe it is going to be a life,
Okay,
and
so,
life is valuable.
so your big misstep here is that it is already a life from the moment of conception. So are you just saying that you value human life?
Yeah, I was just answering it in your verbiage because I just assumed that you didn't think it was a life. So yeah, it's a human life. So
Awesome.
I believe human life is valuable.
Brain
You
dead
don't?
patient is a human life.
Yeah, a brain dead patient left without a machine is dead.
But is it a human life?
Yes, it's dead. It's
Oh,
a
wait.
dead human life. What are you talking about?
Wait. So you're saying that a brain dead patient is dead? So yeah, why are they dead?
No, I'm saying that they would die without the use of oxygen tube, which is an external force keeping a thing alive when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, and there's like humans that would die without a pacemaker.
That's not even
That's not valuable.
That's not even close to a relevant argument.
Sam, there's humans that would die without their pacemaker. Are their lives valuable?
They are valuable. Yeah.
Why? Because they would die without the external means of the pacemaker.
Yeah. That doesn't mean you have the right to go in and take the pacemaker out.
So then why
Like,
do
that's
you
a
have the
choice
right to
being
pull the
made.
plug on a brain dead patient?
So just because we need something to survive is not a relevant argument to using something to end what will be a
Exactly,
life
and this
that
is
a
just
life.
why you told me it was justified to pull the plug on a brain dead patient, was because they need the support of the external life support in order to be alive, and that's why it's justified to terminate their life. However, what you're saying right now is counterproductive and contradictory, right, to the response that you gave as to why the life of the brain dead patient was valuable. Here's the thing. You are making the argument that the life of the fetus is valuable because all human life is valuable. But then I ask you about a brain dead patient, and you're like, this human life is not valuable. But
I don't
you
think that
can't
it's-
say all human life is valuable except for these exceptions. That's just called special pleading. And if you could special plea in the context of a brain dead patient, I, as well as all the other pro-choicers watching this live, can special plea in the context of a fetus without any logical explanation, the same way you do about the brain dead patient. And thank you for the subscription.
Okay, I disagree because I don't believe in interjecting anything to end a life is the same thing as taking something away is to end a life.
Yeah,
you
pure
keep
semantics.
using the same examples. You're
Take something away from the fetus. Take away the bodily resources from the mother. Justified abortion?
You can't take anything away. It literally is nothing added to that perfect womb in a mother
If you
that is
take away-
feeding herself and it naturally grows. It's
If you take
literally
away, if you
miraculous.
take away the mother's life support,
Food
through
supply?
the uterine core, yeah, if you take away the mother's food supply, it dies.
Yeah, so does
Right.
the mother.
Right. So in the same way, you're saying it would,
That would be
justified
wrong.
to take away the life support from the brain dead patient. You'd have to say that it would be justified to take away the bodily resources being supplied to the fetus.
No, you're
What's the
taking-
difference? What is the difference? Tell me what the difference is.
Because one person, you're doing it out of compassion, right? Okay.
So now you're talking about the intent of the actor doing it? You sound so silly. You sound so
Relax,
silly.
Dean. Relax,
Thank you for
Dean.
the subscription.
Relax. So
No, you relax. Do you understand how absurd you sound? And
no,
you're
I don't sound
doing it out of
absurd,
compassion,
absurd
and
at
no, you're
all.
not.
You are doing it out of compassion in one case, and you're taking away a thing that is keeping that thing alive. So you're saying the equivalency to a plug to a brain dead patient is a mother's ability to eat.
Yeah, because well, here's the thing, right? Both actions result in the death of a human. Right? Do we understand that? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. And you're saying that one is wrong and one isn't wrong, right?
I mean, I would say that one is wrong if you're taking away a mother who wants to survive. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
but-
confused. Taking away a mother that wants to survive?
Yeah, her food supply from a mother and a baby that want to survive, that would be wrong.
Wait, how can you
Taking
say that a fetus can want or desire anything when they don't have a conscious experience to want or desire?
a mother and her baby? I misspoke. So a mother and her baby, a mother and
Wait,
her baby
here's
in
what
the
here's what
womb.
I'm saying. Here, listen to me, Sam. I'm going to say that you're grasping at straws, and I
You can
preface
say
some-
whatever you want, but
No,
you're
one
just
one second,
not-
Sam. I'm speaking.
Say whatever.
Sam, I'm speaking. So when I first started the live, I made it abundantly clear to everyone watching that abortion debates really aren't my favorite discussions. And like right now, you guys are seeing exactly why. So right now, Samuel is telling us that it is justified to pull the plug on a brain dead patient, but it isn't justified to metaphorically pull the plug on the fetus. And he tried to give some really shitty reasons. Like in one
It's not a
case, you're doing
shitty
it out of
reason, dude.
Okay, and there's your
a-
first mute. In one case, you have compassion, in the other case, you don't. And then he kind of gave some like trivial nonsense bullshit about like in one case it's natural, in one case it's unnatural. It's all meaningless because at the end of the day, the only thing that is relevant is in both scenarios, a person is engaging in an action that they meaningfully know will result in the death of another human. Right?
That's
That's the
dumb.
only thing that is relevant to this conversation. Anything else is trivial nonsense where you are just simply grasping for straws, point blank period.
It's not grasping for straws. In your hypothetical, there would have to be
Maze, thank you for the
somebody-
$20 on Venmo. Let's show some love to Maze in the comment section, y'all. W Maze in the chat, guys. W Maze in the chat. I appreciate you so much. W Maze, y'all.
In your hypothetical, there would have to be somebody holding the tube for the brain dead patient or the plug that would also have to die. It's completely unequivocal and irrelevant. There is a
What? What are
mother
you saying?
that you would have to stop feeding in order for that baby to die, which is a second person.
Oh,
so you're trying to
they just take the abortion pill. The abortion pill does it all for it. It artificially
Okay, we're on to
stops
something
the-
else. Yeah, we're on to something else. It's injecting something into the baby, into the
No,
womb.
it's not injecting it into the baby and or to the womb. It's a mother
Yeah,
taking
it's
a pill that
stopping
stops-
something. It's stopping a feeding source. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah, it's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, you're injecting into something into a natural process. Yeah.
And
it's
yeah, why is that
terrible.
wrong?
Because you're ending a life. I mean,
So
again,
it's wrong for the reason that it ends a life. So then pulling the plug on a brain dead patient should also be wrong because that also ends a life. Like, do you chat? I'm not gonna lie. This is why I don't really like these debates because they're all trivial nonsense. Like I just want to make it incredibly fucking clear how just absolutely unwell this conversation.
what do you like
is.
to debate? What's your favorite debate?
I like to debate about God.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, you believe in God?
For sure.
Oh, so at the end of the day, you think abortion's wrong because of your belief in the Christian God, correct?
Well, why don't you prove? Yeah, sure. No, I believe it's life and that. But why?
Wait,
don't you
I have a
prove-
question. If Superman came to Earth tomorrow, would his life be valuable?
I don't know. Why don't you prove to me that there's no God?
Wait, go ahead and answer that. You don't
Okay,
know
say
if
it one more
Superman's
time.
life would be if Superman came to Earth tomorrow, would his life be morally valuable?
Morally, I don't know. If he came to Earth, where was he before?
Wherever the Kryptonians live.
I don't think so. I would, I guess, believe that he's kind of an eternal or something.
So, and that's the absurd conclusion of your position. So you're essentially saying
You keep saying like rude things, like absurd and grasping at straws, but you're not like actually engaging in the points. It's immature.
So I am definitely engaging with a point here because basically you've said that the qualifier for moral value is one being a human. But see, the thing is the reduction of this view is the idea if there was a person that wasn't a human that had the same level of consciousness that we do, that had the same desire to live and the desire to do things in life, just as you and me do, that their life wouldn't be morally valuable.
Why are you saying that? The person is brain dead and they will never be able to live life the same
We're
way
not
that
talking
a
about
baby-
brain dead patients. We'd be talking,
we
about,
talking about?
hypothetical figures such as Superman or the apes from the Planet of the Apes or like an alien species, right? Like you don't, or like, and some would even reference like animals, right? So are you saying that all of these life forms wouldn't be valuable at all?
I honestly don't know, but why don't we talk about what's here in front of us and we're murdering
Well,
babies?
you don't know. If you're unable to engage with my hypotheticals, I'm going to move on to the next guest because
Yeah.
I believe it's abundantly clear if Superman came down to Earth tomorrow with the same level of consciousness that we have, with the same desires to do things in life as we do, that their life would be morally valuable, and that's abundantly clear to everyone in the live, apart from you, it seems.
Why is
right?
that-
So I feel
why
like
is
you're
that- why-
intentionally acting
why
in
is-
bad faith, and you are refusing to answer my questions because you know it's contradictory to your position.
This is what you do.
I will
This
go
is
ahead
what
and
you do.
extend the olive
Yep.
branch,
This
and I
is what
will
you do.
allow you to answer the hypothetical legitimately, or I'll just move on. So
This is what
once
you
again,
do.
extending the olive branch, would the life of Superman be morally valuable, and would it be considered murder to infringe upon his right to life and to kill him unjustly?
Okay. If Superman was an earthly being, like from Earth, like in the movies, like he grew up as Superman, then yes, it's morally valuable. If he was like some otherly planet, other eternal being that didn't even have an end to its life, then no, it wouldn't be valuable. But I don't understand your point.
Well, it's funny. You said eternal being, not from Earth. You just described God, and you're a Christian. Is God not valuable?
God, you can't end God's life, so it's irrelevant if it's
Is God valuable?
Yes.
What?
You can't end an eternal
Oh
being.
my
dude.
God.
Are you like you can't
Okay,
end
well,
an eternal being?
He just slurred, chat. He just slurred. He just said the R slur. Be so fucking for real. We're gonna go to move on to our next guest here. Talking about moral value. That was funny. He literally described God. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. So
First off, I just want to say this is a very interesting live. These people are interesting. You're interesting. Cool. I like it. Whatever. I want to add on to what you guys just talked about because
good Lord.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. If it's a freaking alien, I don't care. It's a life. It's a life. Whatever it is, it's a life. We're gonna treat it as a life, right? But
are you pro-life?
I am pro-life.
Perfect. Why so?
Personally,
Yum Coffee. I appreciate you for the money gun. Thank you for the love.
So mostly like my point is that if you were to kill a pregnant woman, no matter how far along she is, you're going to get charged with double murder. It's going to be double homicide because they treat it as a fetal homicide. It's considered a life. That's a main point that I have. So obviously like the fetus has a life no matter how far the pregnant woman is. If I'm freaking, I don't know, 5 weeks pregnant and I get killed, someone kills me, they're going to say it's double homicide.
I think it should be considered double homicide. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I think that the mother is the only one who can justly terminate the life of the fetus. If anyone else does it, it's unjust and it's murder for the reason that it's unjust. The Queen, I appreciate you for the hat of mustache. Because of the way that property rights function. Let me give you an example. What kind of car do you drive?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I got a phone call. I drive. My goodness, give me like 1 second. I keep getting a phone call if I keep getting cut off.
No worries.
I drive a Honda.
Honda, awesome. So, Kay, real quick, if a random man that you don't know were to come up to your Honda and break the windshield in the middle of the night, did they do something morally wrong?
Yes.
If you went up to your Honda and broke
Yes.
the windshield, would you be doing something morally wrong?
I mean, no, I see what you're saying. It's my car, it's my property, so I can do what I want to it.
And that's kind of how we're thinking about the fetus in this sense. Because I think that the life of the fetus is not morally valuable. However, the mother would have a sense of property rights over it. So if someone were to unjustly infringe upon those property rights and terminate the life of the fetus in her womb, that would be constituted as murder. We'd say the same thing about brain dead patients. If I walked into a local hospital and just knifed up all these brain dead patients, I'd be murdering them because I'm unjustly infringing upon the property rights of whoever has legal guardianship over them.
Yeah, but then it's like, that goes back to like assisted murder. You know how like that used to be legal? Like if you wanted to die, your nurse could basically like inject you and you could die, but that's no longer legal, at least to my knowledge.
It is in like Norway, but regardless, I don't see how that would relate to the issue of elective abortions. Also, hey, I just want to put this out there for everyone watching. Hey, if you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. I'll give you a fat shout out. I'm about to do some traveling. I'm going home to see my mom. If you want to help me pay for some gas, feel free. The Venmo and the PayPal's in the bio. I love you all. Anyways, continue, Kay.
But I'm saying that because it's like you're saying that if it's a woman, that's her property, that's her baby, disregarding the father for, any reason, even though he's involved in that. But it's like,
Yeah, okay. Do you think men should be able to control women?
No, of course not. But I think they should definitely
So
be.
that's why we disregard the father.
But we don't disregard the father.
I have a question. If you think that the father should have a say in an abortion, well, let's just see how this will go. Because there's only two scenarios where the father's say will be relevant. And that's when the mother and the father disagree, right? Because if the mother and the father agree, his say is not relevant, all right? So let's just say the mother wants to get an abortion and the father doesn't want her to get an abortion. Should she be allowed to get an abortion?
I mean, I guess I don't know. That's where it's hard.
Jamie, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. That's 2 gallons of gas right there. Let's go. W Jamie in that comment section. Y'all show some love to Jamie. Thank you so much. Listen, tonight after my stream when I'm pumping my gas, I'm going to think of you, Jamie. Thank you so much. And I apologize for interrupting you, Kay. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I understand completely. You're getting gifts. I feel like if you are doing the deed and there's a chance that you are going to get pregnant, I feel like you are taking those precautions as it is. I feel like if you're not ready for possible consequences, then you aren't old enough. Like you shouldn't be doing it.
Love you. Jesse, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Let's go for some snacks on the trip. Thank you for the love, Jesse. Let's go. And Shayla, thank you for the $15 on Venmo for more gas. Those 3 more gallons. Jesse and Shayla, thank you both so very much. I appreciate y'all so much. Let's get a W, Jesse, and a W, Shayla, in that comment section. Thank you. And then additionally here, hey, just because the mother consented to the intercourse doesn't mean that she'd have an obligation to sustain the pregnancy. Like, let me just give you an example, right? If someone smokes a cigarette, understanding that that may lead to lung cancer, if they were to get lung cancer, should they be able to get chemotherapy?
Okay, we're talking about something completely different. We're talking about human lives here. I don't
think it's different. I don't think it's different in the slightest. Unless you'd say that the life of the fetus is morally valuable, and if that's the case, I just ask you why so.
The life of the fetus is valuable. It's a life. It's an innocent life. Going back to what you were talking about.
Okay, all innocent life is valuable. When was the last time you had a hamburger or like some chicken tenders?
I'm actually vegan. Thank you.
Okay, wait. Do you think that the government should force everyone to be vegan, legally speaking?
It's definitely a choice that I don't think everybody is meant to switch over to. Again, we are meant to eat meat, but if I don't know, it
Thank you for the paper crane. So it depends. Listen, is this you saying that the government should not legally force everyone to be a vegan?
I just don't know how the turnout would be. Some people's bodies can't handle it, and that's from personal experiences, personal relationships that I've been able to.
Some people's bodies can't handle pregnancy. The point is, you are saying that all innocent life is morally valuable, including non-humans. Yet you don't think that the government should force people to be vegan. They should not make eating meat illegal. Well, in the exact same sense, right, literally no difference, because you're vegan and you value humans just as much as non-humans, the government shouldn't force people to maintain pregnancy by banning abortions. And if you say anything else, you got an insane contradiction. Katie, thank you so much for the mirror bloom. I appreciate you for the love.
Oh.
Lindsay, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Y'all show some love to Lindsay in that comment section. Thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much, Lindsay. You just bought me some snacks, maybe even a meal on the way back to home. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I appreciate you. If anyone else wants to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. But anyways, feel free to respond to that.
I would like to add on that there are many contraceptives. There are different kinds of birth control, which some are free through the government and are required at your local clinics, most likely. At least the states that I've been to, they are available. And then it's like you also have condoms. Most people who are getting, at least in our generation, not everyone is getting abortions for the right reasons. And up until it was banned.
Go ahead and make that most people claim real quick. Do it.
For what? That most people.
Yeah. 54% of people that are getting abortions are getting them because the use of contraceptives failed. And then additionally here, I don't think that shitting on abortion because people are engaging in unprotected sex is a good strategy, for the reason that you're essentially saying that the life of the fetus wouldn't be valued, and abortion would be morally permissible if they used all of the proper contraceptives and they happen to fail, which is basically you associating the value of the life of the fetus with the actions of the mother and father, which I would say is a bad worldview. Right? Because the life of a fetus conceived through a condom that broke is no different than the life of a fetus that was conceived through the use of no condom at all. And you're saying that one baby has complete and utter total moral value, right? And if you end it, you're a murderer. But the other baby, yeah, fuck it. Right? But the reduction of this is, I just think that you want to persecute and disenfranchise women who you deem as being irresponsible. Right? Like, I agree with you. People should be engaging in intercourse responsibly. They should be using protection. But just because they don't doesn't mean that you get to fucking turn around and punish them by giving them a child, which also in turn punishes the child because you are forcing them to have irresponsible parents. And this isn't just me speaking out of my ass or virtue signaling. This is the truth. In areas where we see restricted or no access to abortion, we see higher rates of poverty, higher rates of crime, lower rates of employment, and lower rates of education. All because UK and a lot of other people in the context of the United States that agree with you want to punish women that you deem as irresponsible. So that's all I got to say. If you have a response, I'd be more than willing to hear you out.
I don't think it's punishing people. I have known several people who have actually used it for the wrong reasons, which does happen. Now, I will say, I do think that it should be banned up until a certain point. I think in cases such as, I don't even know if I can say it, but in cases such as like rape and sexual assault and things like that, or say, you know, like a kid gets pregnant, in those situations, I feel like it should be legal, because that's not fair. That a woman didn't have a choice in that at all.
Yeah, you're saying that the woman shouldn't be able to get an abortion because she engaged in sex knowing what it would lead to, right?
I'm saying that if it's someone that gets assaulted, they shouldn't have to live with that choice.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not even talking about that. So, in the case that a woman like meaningfully consented to intercourse, she shouldn't be able to get an abortion because she meaningfully consented to the intercourse, right?
Right. You're consenting to the fact that you could have a kid.
Okay, and when a smoker smokes a cigarette, they're consenting to the fact that they could get lung cancer. Does that mean that they shouldn't be able to get chemotherapy if they do?
It's not that they shouldn't be able to.
So they should be able to get chemotherapy to terminate the lung cancer, even though they meaningfully consented to smoking, knowing that it could lead to that outcome. This is exactly what we're talking about when we're speaking on abortions. I understand that women are meaningfully consenting to intercourse and engaging in it, knowing that it could lead to pregnancy when they don't want to be pregnant. I have a lot of sex with my girlfriend, and I get it. I do, right? It happens all the time. But the point is, even though that's true, that says absolutely nothing about the access to health care that the woman should have if she were to get pregnant.
I just feel like if you are taking that chance, you're okay. Say hypothetically you're a smoker, right? We're gonna use that example, right? And they have everything labeled, you tobacco, whatever. It says this may cause cancer, blah 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 blah. You should be able to do chemotherapy because that is going to kill you and your life. That is a decision that is.
Yeah, we could just say that the lung cancer wouldn't kill them. It would just kind of hurt them for 9 months.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, if they're going to go to chemotherapy or whatever, it's because it's killing them or it is harming themselves, their bodies. Now, you are harming your body versus another life. Of course, you're going to think twice about killing yourself versus a
Tell me what harm is.
You're talking about smoking. If you're messing up your lungs, you're messing up your heart, like, what do you mean? Your
I know, but
throat?
like, what is harm?
You just said if it didn't kill you, if it was just harming you for 9 months.
No, I'm just asking you what you mean when you say the word harm.
Hurting yourself?
Hurting, okay. What does it mean to hurt something?
You're going to bring up that babies can't feel up until a certain point, and it's like, that shouldn't matter because a baby can't feel. But like I said when we first got on the call, if you were to kill a pregnant
You're
woman,
trying to like anticipate an argument here. I'm just asking you what it means for something to hurt, right? Because here's my stance. In order for something to be harmed, in order for something to be hurt, that something needs a well-being. And I think that non-sentient, non-conscious objects, such as a clump of cells, cannot have a well-being that can be concerned. And we can't introduce language such as the idea that a fetus can be harmed, because a fetus doesn't have a well-being. They don't have consciousness yet. What are we talking about? Can you harm a rock? No. Can you harm a blade of grass? No. Can you harm a fetus? No.
Okay, so then if you were to, I don't even know if you'd be able to, but pull up a video of an abortion where they are literally clamping the baby into pieces and you're going to see it squirm. And then you're going to tell me that they can't feel it?
So actually, yes, I am telling you that if a fetus is aborted prior to 24 weeks, they can't feel it, right? Because the required pain receptors in the context of a fetus's neuroanatomy require the thymocortical connections at 24 weeks to have any experience. If you'd like to read the literature or the academics on this subject, feel free to look them up. I could even send them over to you. But the point is, any type of visual reaction that you'd have to an abortion is nothing more than an appeal to people's emotions. And I get it. Abortion is icky. It's grotesque. It is hard to watch. I've seen the videos. But are you sure that this is what makes it morally wrong? Because what if in a hypothetical universe, abortion was beautiful, right? Imagine that the action of abortion was just as beautiful as a Pablo Picasso painting. It was visually attractive. It was appealing to the eye. Would it still be wrong?
It's a life. It's wrong.
It would be. So when you mention these things such as the blood, guts, and gore and pulling them limb from limb, those aren't relevant in your determination that it's morally wrong. That's just you trying to play and pry on people's emotions.
I mean, I guess. I just don't think that. I don't understand how you're saying that it should be just the woman's choice at all either.
Why would we not understand that? Whose body is the uterus in? The woman's or the man's?
But it doesn't matter. It took two people.
I absolutely think it does matter because as far as I'm concerned, when the man is engaging in intercourse with a woman, that is all that woman consented to with that man. And as soon as that man ejaculates, he loses rights to what happens to that sperm for the next 9 months.
Really? Okay, so if you said you have a girlfriend, so I'm gonna ask, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been together for a long time. You guys have a baby. She gets pregnant, right? And she decides, you know what? After the baby has already started growing, you're watching it, you're so excited. Oh my gosh, you're ready. She decides, you know what? I don't want to be with you. I don't want this baby.
They're gonna ask me if I'm sad. If I'd be sad, I'd be devastated.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'd suck like hell. What's your point?
So then it's not morally correct. You yourself.
Wait, are you saying that moral wrongness is predicated on men's emotions? How devastated do you think the plantation owners were down south when the Union won the Civil War?
Hilarious. Anyways.
No, please answer my question.
On top of that, abortion actually does a lot of damage to a woman's body. So if you're worried what a baby is going to do for your body, you should be worried.
Really? So you're not going to answer that question?
No, that's not. We're not talking about that.
No, you wanted to predicate moral wrongness on men's emotions.
It's not on men's emotions.
I told you that I'd be in the fucking gutter if I had a wife and I wanted to have a kid with her and she got pregnant and then she chose to get an abortion. I'd be bawling my eyes out. But why do men's tears dictate what women can and can't do with their body?
It's not what women. You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
I'm not getting it, really.
Obviously, I can't force you to have the same views as me. Obviously, I respect your views, and you're actually probably the most educated person I've talked to about this, who actually knows what they're talking about and can actually back it up. So I can't even argue with it any further. You're very strong with your point. You have a very valid argument. For me personally, I feel like it's a life. If I were to get killed and someone's gonna get charged with double murder, that's because it's a life. Legally, in the government, that is considered a life.
Yeah, I don't think all life is valuable.
You don't think all life is valuable?
Nah, fuck it. I think that traits in which life can have are valuable. Now, this is a little bit of an unintuitive distinction, so you're just gonna have to listen and follow what I'm saying here. Life on its own has no value. Are cells alive? Are bacteria alive, Kay?
Of course.
Okay, every time you brush your teeth, you unalive trillions of those microbial life forms. And I have a question, and I want to see if you can answer it in good faith. Why is microbial life invaluable, but human life is valuable? Is it because of the traits that are associated with human life that are not associated with microbial life, such as consciousness, such as sentience, such as the ability to perceive, think, and feel?
I would say, yeah, it is. It is different.
And that's why I don't think the life of the fetus is valuable. A fetus doesn't have consciousness. A fetus doesn't have sentience. A fetus doesn't have the ability to perceive, think, and feel. And that's why I don't think it's valuable, just like the microbial life.
I don't know how much evidence we have to back up that they can't feel. Actually, where did you see that? Because I have never seen that before. I've never read on that a fetus can't feel.
So these things called the thymocortical connections occur at about 24 gestational weeks that allow for consciousness to emerge. As far as the particular empirics on this, I can go on my computer real quick, look them up, and give you the DOI numbers, and I can give you the name of the academic studies. But across the board, the scientific consensus is that consciousness is most likely to emerge in human life at 24 weeks.
Gotcha.
I could look up and get you that information. If only if you'd want it and actually do something with it, because it is a little bit, tedious.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that a fetus can't feel. I don't know how we would be able to determine that. Like, how would we not be able to determine that a fetus can't feel?
Well, I mean, like, consciousness is required for the ability to feel.
Right.
Samantha, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Thank you so much, Samantha. So this is called The Emergence of Consciousness, Science and Ethics. It's a paper by Hugo L. And basically this paper says, as consciousness is mainly located in the cortex, consciousness cannot emerge before 24 gestational weeks when the thalamocortical connections from the sense organs are established. And it gives a whole entire like scientific, defense of this point. We could also mention the emergence of human consciousness from fetal to neonatal life, once again by Hugo L., which goes over the same things. And I mean, you could look into some more complex papers on this, but this is the widespread consensus amongst neuroscientists today.
Okay. That's pretty fair. I haven't seen that. I'm going to be completely honest. Never actually done the research that far. So, I'm going to give that to you. That's very, well said. I do want to ask you, because we were talking about if men should have any right or any say at all. Mm-hmm. Understanding it is the woman's body, she should have the choice. However, what's something that I have to think about too is that if a man does not want that baby, and the woman does, she has that baby, he's going to have to pay child support for something that he didn't want.
Yeah.
It's not really fair to the man. The man has no say.
Well, the thing is the man doesn't have a justified claim to terminate the life of the fetus before it's birthed, because it's not in his body, it's not his property. And if we can establish that, I could explain to you very simplistically why the man would still have an obligation to pay the child support.
Why?
Because the child support is simply a tool to better off the life of a born child. And if there is a born child brought into this world by two individuals, they both have an obligation to provide for that child in all circumstances, man and woman. So regardless of the scenario, both the man and the woman will have an obligation to sustain the life of a born child. But the only difference between a man and a woman would fall before birth, right? Before 24 weeks when consciousness emerges. And that's where the woman has a special right where she could terminate the life of a fetus because of the very special relationship that the fetus and the mother share, right? That being the fact that the fetus is relying upon the mother's bodily resources for it to sustain its life, and it is growing within the body of the mother. If all those things were true of the man and not true of the woman, we would say that the man would have the special say, but that's not the case.
So you're basically saying that because it grows in the woman, the man should have no say at all. And then on top of that, you're saying that if the man is basically forced to have that kid, no matter what, he's going to have to suffer the consequences.
Yes, absolutely. And hey, like, I'll admit, like, I wish that there was a way where the man could have a say, right? But at the end of the day, the woman's bodily autonomy is always going to be more valuable than any plea of a man, right? Like 110% across the board. Like in a hypothetical reality where pregnancy occurred as a shared experience between the man and the woman, like it just spontaneously appeared in a glowing orb in the middle of the room connected to both the man and the woman, then the man would have a say, right? But that's just not how it is in reality, right? And I think I could like be even more lenient, say it one step further. Like if a man and a woman want to have like conversation about the potentiality of abortion or not abortion, I'd completely and totally like say that they should do that. I think that like like both feelings should be concerned, and the woman should at least see what the man thinks, like in these special like relationship dynamics. But at the end of the day, if the man and the woman disagree, it's completely the woman's say.
So basically, no matter what happens, the men have no choice, no say at all.
Well, I mean, the woman can grant the man a say. She's fully within her rights to do so. But legally speaking, absolutely not.
So what you're saying is it takes two, but only one is superior to the other.
Well, during the pregnancy, yes, for the reasons that I've given.
But it takes two to create that life. However, only one
Let me put it this
has
way.
say over that life.
Let me put it this way. You know your Honda, how many people do you think it took on the assembly line to build that?
I don't know.
Hundreds, probably. And how many people have a say over what happens with it now? One.
Me.
You, right? Think of it that way. So think of the construction of your car on the assembly line, like the man and the woman engaging in intercourse, right? All of those assembly line workers only consented to building that vehicle, just like the man and the woman only consented to engaging in the intercourse. What happens with that car after it goes off the assembly lot isn't the problem of the workers on the assembly line, just like what happens with that fetus for the 9 months after conception is not the problem of the man, because he signs his rights away as soon as he ejaculates. He gets paid from an orgasm and they dip. It all has to do with what the man and the woman consented to in the first place. They consented to sex. That's all they consented to.
Okay, so then back to the car analogy, right? You're saying that the man and the woman basically created that car, and now you're saying that it is only the woman's. Only she has a say in what
Only
happens.
for 9 months. Only for 9 months. Yep.
Only for 9 months. And then it's born, and then the guy suddenly has rights to that child.
Because it's no longer just her property. Yeah, this is how it works out. I'm sorry if it pisses you off.
I don't understand how that is.
I've already detailed to it. The fetus is in the mother's body. It's in her womb. I mean, what's the ultimatum here? Men controlling women's bodies? Say it out loud. Say you want that.
It's not men controlling women's
So
bodies.
if the woman
consented,
what did the woman consent to? What did the woman
She
consent to?
consented to sex just like the man consented to sex, and now they
Yeah,
have a
it did
child.
not consent to the man having a controller say over her body for 9 months. How is it this hard for you to get?
Okay,
how
and
hard
the
is it
man
for you to get this
didn't
point?
consent for a
If
kid.
you advocate for men having a say in the context of abortion, all you're advocating for here is men controlling women's bodies.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be stop sugarcoating it, okay? Stop fucking sugarcoating it.
So, okay.
If you think that a man should have a say in the context of abortion, you think that men should be able to control women's bodies. Let's look at these two instances. If the woman didn't want to get an abortion and the man did want her to get an abortion, should she be forced to get an abortion?
You're saying, right?
Answer my question. I'm done.
If the guy wants an abortion and she doesn't want an abortion, it depends on the relationship. It depends, is she going to be willing to take care of that
Wait, so
child?
you think in some cases that she should be able to get she should be forced to get an abortion?
If she cannot take care of that child alone, and she knows that she's not going to be able to, then okay.
Even though she would still want to have the kid, you think she should be forced to get an abortion?
That would
That's
be-
grotesque.
That would be completely up to her.
Oh, completely up to her. Thanks for conceding your whole
But
argument.
anyways, on top of that, all right, you're saying that a woman is consenting to sex and she's not consenting to a child. Well, a man is consenting to sex, but he's not consenting to a child. So why should he be forced to pay for a child that he doesn't want?
Okay, yeah, because we don't really care about either of the parents' feelings when we're talking about child support. All that we're caring about here is the quality of the life of the child. It's really funny that you are willing to forsake the quality of the life of a newborn child for like the feelings of a man when you as a pro-lifer seem so adamantly concerned with the inherent value of life. And this is why I think that pro-choicers care more about life than pro-lifers, because you are willing to throw all of the care for these young, vulnerable, and legitimately valuable lives, such as newborns, such as toddlers, right out the fucking window.
Okay. Well, chat's pretty mad at me. They want me off the call. So I will let you get on to your next guest.
Well, you're actually my last guest of the night. I haven't eaten all day. I feel lightheaded as shit. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to pack for my trip tomorrow. So I'm hopping off as soon as you do. Yeah, if you're heading off now, I appreciate you for coming up, Kay.
Of course. Good argument. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Adios. Hey, for everyone in here right now, we are going to go ahead and end. I do apologize. I'm honestly having fun with this topic, which is unusual. I usually don't have a lot of fun. But I am going to go ahead and hop off for the day, y'all. I need to go eat some dinner. I need to use the bathroom. I need to do the whole shebang. I haven't been taking care of myself today. So I'm sorry, y'all. But hey, guys, if any of you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. Right, you know, these trips are kind of expensive because gas is so fucking much. You obviously don't have to, but if you want to, if you've enjoyed the content, consider supporting me. My Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio, and I get 100% of the proceeds sent over those platforms. But hey, yeah, without any further ado, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and send you all over to Parker's stream. He is live right now. I don't know how long he's gonna be live for. If someone would please comment Parker's @ I could pin it, and I'm gonna send y'all all over there for a raid. Someone said, there we go. Effie got it. Effie got it. So everyone head over to @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok. I appreciate you all so much for supporting me today. Go show Parker some love now. Spam Dean Raid in his chat. Additionally here, when you spam Dean Raid in his chat, you know, you're going to have to put a couple extra E's and A's and N's in the Dean and maybe some extra D's on the raid because TikTok filters Dean Raid for whatever reason. But yeah, go raid a stream. I love you all. Peace out, guys.